Right, this video is for Danny at Start Hypnosis to show you how to put together a contact form. Now, you've already started, I can see that on the Fears and Phobias page. So what I'm going to do is work on that one, Danny, and style it a little bit and just show you how that all comes together. Right, so go back to the inside, go to all pages, fears and phobias, go on to the fears and phobias page, have a look at it in desktop view to make it easier to work with. Right, let me just so we select the module for the contact form. Module settings, you use the little gear icon to open it up. Now at the moment you've got three parts for them to fill in. You can add as many others as you want. The first thing that you're going to need, I'm going to put these in, Danny, and then you can go and take them out if you don't like them. The text, the title, is for the title of that contact form. So I'm actually going to call it a quick contact form for the moment. Quick contact form. I mean, you don't even have to have a heading if you don't want it, but we'll put it in just so that I can actually show you how this all works. Success message, that's what they see when they've submitted the form. Keep it really short if you're going to put that in. Submit button, if you don't want to call it submit, you can put send or whatever you want into there. Email, this is the most important thing at the moment. The email address is your email address that you want the contact forms to go to. So let me just go and refresh my brain on what your email address is. Danny at Start Hypnosis. Okay, so I'm going to put that in, and that's where the emails will go to. Now the message pattern, this is a little bit tricky, but what you do is you're actually going to code how the message comes and is displayed to you. So at the moment we've got name, we've got email address, and we've got message. Now you need the code for those, and how you get that, let's go up here, we'll click on name, we'll open that up. You've got the field ID and you've got the title as it will appear on the form. The field ID is unique to the different fields that are there. Keep them as one word, and they can be any word at all, because you're only going to use it for code. But they've used name. You could put names. So I'll just do that to show you. So that's the field ID. You click the green button, you go back to the main contact form settings, scroll down, open email, and what you do is you put 2 percentage signs, then you put the field ID exactly as it's typed there. So you use the same capital N, then AMES, and you finish it off with 2 percentage signs again. You do that for the email address. I happen to know that the field name for the email address is just email, capital E, and the same for message. But at first you're going to have to check these when you create one. Right, 2%, and that will code it, and so that when you actually receive the email, it will have quick contact form as the title, so you'll know where it's from. It will have the name, the email address, and the message of the person. You can add more, you can add telephone number, stuff like that. It's entirely up to you, but I'll show you how these actually work. with the names, field options, it's an input field. You can have things like, you could change that to a text area, you could change it to radio buttons, check boxes. If you're going to start going into more different fields and things, then Google contact form module for Divi builder, and that will give you a lot more information than I'm doing now. Over in the design of the name box, it's got here, you can make it full width. If you do that, it will push the email address down to the next row, because that's a half a width size at the moment. So you could put another one in here, but this would take a bit of playing about with for you to grasp, and definitely Google contact form module Divi to get much better insight in that. Now what I'm going to do, just to tart it up a bit, so we click that, we've finished with that. Right, these are, you click the icons to go to each individual one, but for the design, this will design everything overall. Fields background color, well, you could make that red. Obviously you're not going to, but I'm just showing you now. White, or what it was initially, which was the grey, but I'm going to show you something else. You don't have to keep it this way, and you can play around with them. You'll be able to see it change until you've got what you actually want for yourself. But I'm just going to try and make this a bit more stylish for you. Fields text color, that's these items here which are in light grey, hardly able to see them. I'm going to make those black. Then I'm going to change the field text size. It's at 14 pixels at the moment. The very maximum you want to make that is 16. And make sure it's 16px. I just think 14 is too tiny. Right, at the moment you can hardly see anything because we haven't done anything to those fields, because I've kept them white as the background is. What I'm going to do on this one, and watch this so that you can undo the stuff that I've done if you don't like it. Go to border, go to input border styles, and I'm just going to put a border on the bottom of those boxes that we can no longer see. So you select that one, which is the bottom there. I'm going to make them the width of them 2 pixels wide, and you'll see now boxes have opened up. Sorry, the line has opened up under them. That may be a bit too harsh color wise, so I'm going to actually change that color. Input border style, and you can select from here, so we can just make it a bit lighter. Just looks a little bit more stylized like this. I mean, if you wanted to, you could select this one and make the border all round the boxes. Entirely up to you, but I'm just going to play around with this one and make it a little bit more stylish. Right, or shall I want? I'm not too sure actually. Try and keep it as simple as I can for you. I think I will actually do that, Danny. I'll undo what I've done there by using that, which reverts it back. 2 pixels all around those boxes. That should be fine actually. You'll notice it when you finish. Sorry, I just jumped off that. When you're finished, always click the green box that it's right. But the most important thing, and to make sure that you're actually getting your emails, make sure you do these steps in the email section. Right, firstly, before we get onto that, these seem very close together. I'm not really sure what you've done here with this one. But what I'm going to do is add some space, I think. So I'm going to open the contact form up again, go to the design, go to spacing, margin bottom, and something like 30px, which is 30 pixels. So easy to duplicate that there, so be a bit careful. You could change that to more, so there's more of a gap. You'll see that's lowered. But then they're not so close to each other, which is going to look awful, particularly on a mobile. So 50 pixels is probably about right for that. Then click the green. Okay. What I'm going to do to save you time, if you want to use it as it is, highlight it again so that you've got a little black box come up. The 3 dots that are there are the module settings. Save to library. This will open this up. Save it as contact form. I'm going to say Chris, just so you'll know. This is going to save it as a library item. You don't make it a global item unless you want it to be the same on every page, and you may want to change it on different ones. Then you click the blue button here, save to library, and that's now saved. So you always save the page that you've worked on. I'm just going to test that out to make sure it has done it. I'll go to this draft page that hasn't been used. I'm going to call it a test, so it can be used as a test page for testing things out. Just use Divi Builder to make that into a Divi page. Build from scratch. Text. Right, go to the desktop view. Right, that contact form will look ridiculous all across the page. I'll show you just to see, but it's way too big. So insert a module. You want not new module, you want add from library, and it will give you contact form Chris. So you see, it could work, but it's very wide. What I normally would do is make a row with a couple of columns as the one it was in. Insert module, add from library, contact form Chris. That just makes it neater, and then over here you could put text or image, whatever you want. And I think you know that when it's on a mobile, if there are 2 columns there, the second column will fold underneath the first one. But this is just desktop design at the moment. I'm not keeping this page, it's only for testing on, so I'll just call it save draft. I'm not going to publish it. But that's it, Danny, really. I mean, you can change the contact form, modify it as much as you like with different boxes. What I would suggest is actually going onto, say, the A test page and playing around with that module there until you actually like what you've got. Then save that as a library item. Save it as a library item that you'll know the name of.